Aw, shit. Here we go again. Welcome to the Sloppy Book Club podcast. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Celese.
And we're now on episode 9.
Yes.
Yes.
I can't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
9 episodes. I think episode 10 would be like a big one because like 10 episodes,
it's an accomplishment.
It definitely is. So thank you to all our listeners. We're super excited to get started. So again, this is episode 9. And on this week's episode, we are going to be obviously tasting a wine. Jenny has a wine she's going to taste. And I actually have like a mocktail Mai Tai that I made.
She made it all by herself.
All by myself. I got the recipe on Pinterest. So I'll be trying that. And then this week's episode is all about books with dragons in it, or
finally
dragon themed books. So we have a couple of reviews to go over, and even a dragon game, which I was surprised that we even found something for that.
I'm kind of nervous. She just sprung this on me, by the way. So
it was I saw it on like a Quizlet kind of thing where it was like, do you know the pop culture dragons or something? So I was like, we're doing a dragon episode. This fits in perfectly. So we'll be doing that. And obviously the review of the books that we've read so far.
Awesome.
So let's get started.
Right. Some wine?
Yes.
All right. So today I have a wine that my friend gave me. It's a Moscato. It's called Villa Jolanda.
We'll go with that. Yeah.
Right? Villa Jolanda. A Dolce. Moscato Dolce. I've never had it. I've had Moscatos, but not this brand.
I really like the little bottle.
Oh, it smells good. Oh, that's good. That's delicious.
And I was telling Jenny when she first showed me the bottle that it looks similar to one that I've seen before, but it was like I don't know if it was like a rosé or like a raspberry sparkling one, but it came in like a bottle like that, but it was in a pink color.
It's pretty dangerous because it's really sweet and good.
Yes. So that's a good one.
Awesome.
It's been a while since we've had like a really good wine.
I know. All of them sucked.
So shout out to your friend who gave you a really good wine.
Yes, Damaris. Thank you. Yes.
And I really like the bottle. And like I said, it reminds me of something I've had before.
Yeah, it's good.
For me, I did the Mai Tai mocktail. It's just ice, lemon lime soda, pineapple juice, orange juice, grenadine.
Oh, good job.
And obviously you can garnish it with like a lime slice, an orange slice, and if you like cherries, you can add that to it too. Mm-hmm. And I'll take a sip and try it. I put a lot of ice. I put a lot of ice in it.
Yeah. They're very delicious.
Yep. I mean, it just tastes like juice, like a sparkling juice.
Which is dangerous.
And, you know, I do wish I could have, like, the rum in it. But, you know, we'll get there eventually. This summer.
Yes.
This summer.
Mai Tais. Some real Mai Tais.
Right. Because I've had mango Mai Tais, but I've never had a pineapple one. So I actually like this. Mm-hmm. So I can only envision it with, like, rum or something, and it'd be really good. But as a mocktail, it's delicious. It just tastes like a sparkling juice. It has that sparkle from the lemon lime soda. I use Sprite. And it tastes good. It's refreshing. Good. Getting you ready for the spring, summer.
I know, and it's very nice outside right now.
Yes.
So it's perfect.
And that's kind of, when I was looking up recipes, I was like, I put in spring mocktails just to get me in that, like, realm, just because it's been so nice lately. So I was just like, oh, I need something nice and refreshing. So it was really, really good. All right. Are you ready for this game?
No, I am not.
All right. Let me pull it up. Okay, so it's called How Well Do You Know Your Pop Culture Dragons?
Oh, God.
And I'm assuming it's just like dragons in movies and things, and maybe in books. I haven't gone through the list yet because I want it to be as fresh as possible. So I didn't want to be...
No cheating.
Exactly.
Okay, good.
So I feel like you're going to get this one. It's what kind of dragon did Harry Potter have to face in the Tri-Wizard tournament?
Oh, shit.
Was it a Norwegian... What is it? Ridgeback?
Uh-huh.
Swedish short snout,
Nope.
Hungarian horntail or Chinese fireball?
I think it's the Hungarian horntail. Okay. I think. I'm second guessing, but I think it's that.
Okay. I feel like you could be right, but then I'm also leaning towards that Norwegian.
Yeah, it's one of those two.
All right, let's go with Hungarian horntail.
Yes, please.
You are correct.
Yay! Whoop, whoop.
All right. Fill in this. Is it smog?
Yeah.
Okay. Fill in this smog quote from The Hobbit. I am fire, I am blood. I am fire, I am death. I am fire, I am hungry. I am fire, I am smog. Nice to meet you.
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to go with I am fire, I am smog.
Nice to meet you? I'm pretty sure that's not it.
I love The Hobbit. It's in The Hobbit, right?
Yes. It's either I am fire, I am death, or I am fire, I am blood.
So my first thought was death, but I went with the whole smog nice to meet you.
I doubt it's that one or hungry. So let's try and decide between blood and death. I feel like death.
Yeah, death.
And we are correct.
Awesome. I should have just went with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because nice to meet you. I don't think he would ever say that. In the How to Train Your Dragon movie, what species is toothless? Monstrous nightmare, night fury, or toxic nightshade?
One. Oh, wait. Night fury. I'm almost positive it's night fury. Mikey will kill me if I don't get this right.
Yes, you are correct.
Okay, good.
Which one of these dragons does not belong to Daenerys in Game of Thrones? Viserion.
Did you say Daenerys?
Daenerys.
Daenerys?
Isn't that what I said?
You said...
That's not what I said?
You said... You said Daenerys.
Oh, Daenerys.
Yep.
My bad. Viserion. Rhaegal?
You're on your own on this one.
Drogon or Balerion? Well, I know it's not Drogon because wasn't that like this guy's character? Oh my god, the Aquaman. Why can't I think of his
Momoa?
name? Yeah, Jason Momoa. Wasn't that his name in the show?
I don't know.
And I don't think she named a dragon after him.
So I've only ever seen Game of Thrones once.
Mm-hmm.
Game of Thrones. Once.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know it as well as most people who have watched it 100 times.
I feel like it's Drogon. Because I feel like she didn't name... I don't think she named her dragon.
I'm going to back you up on that answer just because I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, I was wrong!
Oh, boo.
It was...
I'll never trust you again.
Balerion?
Balerion? That sounds terrible.
That does sound terrible. My bad. Alright. Where does Puff the Magic Dragon live? By the sea, in the woods, near a lake, a cozy apartment in Lower Manhattan.
Who's that?
Puff the Magic Dragon?
Yeah.
Isn't there a song like Puff the Magic? I don't know.
So let's go by a lake? That sounds about right.
Near a lake?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Oh, well.
By the sea. I mean, you got the water.
Water.
Yep.
Come on.
All right.
I didn't say New York City.
Okay. In the Never Ending Story, Falcor.
Oh my god.
Right? That's how you say it?
So.
Is a luck dragon, Pendragon, Rad Dragon, or Gomork?
So, this is Mike's absolute favorite movie.
Oh, so you better get this right.
I have never seen the movie.
You've never seen the Never Ending Story?
I have never seen the Never Ending Story. I think he hyped it up too much for me, and I just refused to watch it. But he's obsessed with it. And I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid, so I have no idea what it could be.
What are the answers again?
Luck Dragon, Pendragon, Rad Dragon, and Gomork?
Let's go with Gomork. The most ridiculous sounding name.
Well, we were wrong. He was a luck dragon.
Okay, well.
Like,
there we go.
Yep. Which of these actors has encountered a dragon at some point during their film career? Matthew Dillon, Matthew McConaughey, Matthew Morrison, and Matthew Perry. I don't think Matthew
Perry, no. He's the one from Friends, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't think Matthew McConaughey either.
Yeah, I don't recall anything he's ever been.
But I don't know who Matthew Dillon is or Matthew Morrison.
Nope. Let's go with Matthew Morrison.
And we are wrong again. It was Matthew McConaughey.
Was it really? What movie?
Oh my God. Yes, he did. What movie is this from? It just shows you like a picture.
I have no
What
idea.
movie is that from? Where he's like bald?
No clue.
Oh my God, we're going to have to look that up.
We'll look it up after. Maybe we'll put it in our comments.
In our comments. Oh, I totally forgot about that movie.
Yikes.
Because seeing the him in that, oh my God, what movie is that? That's going to bother me. All right, last question. This is Pete's dragon, but what's his name? Figment, Pete, Bingo, Elliot.
Oh,
and this is his dragon.
I haven't seen that one.
Me neither.
It's definitely not Pete, right?
I don't know.
I have no clue.
Figment, Pete, Bingo, Elliot.
Let's go with Figment.
No, it was Elliot.
I'm so bad at guessing.
We are doing... Oh, no, there was one more question.
Okay.
What was Trogdor?
Trogdor?
A man, a dragon man, maybe just a dragon. He was still Trogdor. I don't even
Let's go with maybe just a dragon.
Maybe just a dragon. Yes!
Oh!
Yay!
Yeah, I got one out of however many I guessed.
I think we got like 3 wrong. Out of the 9.
Wow.
I mean, that was better than I thought we would do.
It is what it is.
Yes, definitely. Well, that was fun. Get us in the mindset of dragons.
Yes. So this year, we started off reading a book that was dragon related, or it had a dragon in it, which kind of kick-started us wanting to read more dragon books, because we don't really see too many dragons in fantasy books anymore.
Not really, no.
Or recently, I guess. So this book is called The Final Rider by Elyzabeth Trickey. It's a YA fantasy, and she actually gifted us with an ARC for an honest review, and we did post about it before, so you can take a look at that on our Instagram. We enjoyed it. It's just about a girl who's struggling to find balance between life before exile from her village and then her new life discovering a dragon egg. Yes. So, which makes her like the final rider.
And she was, because we've, like with Sarah J. Maas, hers are wyverns, which is like kind of sort of like in that dragon realm, but we've never had a book that was like strictly dragons. Yeah. So that was like our first kind of like dipping our toes in something that was dragon related was that book that we were even gifted by her, and she signed it for us, and it was really, really nice. So,
and it was our first ARC together as the Sloppy Book Club.
Yes, it was. Right? So thank you.
Yes, thank you, Elyzabeth.
So she kind of like got us started. So let's talk about these books.
Yay!
So the first one we're gonna talk about is A Court of a Court.
Oh, are you going back to Akatar?
It's the court part. It's the court part. It's Court of Dragons. It's the Dragon Isles Wars Book 1 by Frost K. And this was actually a book we got through the Bookish box subscription.
The young adult.
The young adult one. And we actually got the exclusive edition through them. So it's actually a signed copy. And I really, really love the cover art for it. I love how it's sprayed edges, and it's just like a really cool design. And I really enjoyed this book.
I did too.
It's short, it's sweet, but it packs a punch.
It does.
And it's that kind of book that's short and you're getting a lot of information, but it's not where you're confused. And I feel like sometimes that happens with books. And not to bring up the vampire series that we read, Oh, I'm
cop
blanking.
series. Which one? King of Bad and Blood?
Yes. Is that the one where, like, her father tries to kill her?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That one was kind of short.
Yeah.
And it had a lot of information, but it left us a little bit confused. Especially, we couldn't determine, like, if she was the spirit of the witch or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
This is totally different where even though you're given a lot of information, it's still not overwhelming.
It's organized.
It's very organized. So it's about Ren. She's the lead female character, and she is the stepdaughter to the Dragon Isles
King Oswin or something like that. Yeah.
She's the stepdaughter, and it's her wedding day, and she's super excited. She loves, her land and country, and, being able to ride dragons and learn from dragons. Her mom is actually of elven descent, and her mom kind of had this, like, rocky background, tragedy kind of story. But she was able to escape that, and she was able to meet the king of the Dragon Isles, and that's how her mom became queen, and she's kind of like a princess just through marriage. And it starts off with her wedding day, and she's super excited. She's gonna marry
Rowan.
I
like
know.
The name.
I fell in love instantly, and then my heart was torn.
That's so funny.
Yes. Which is someone like she grew up with. Mm-hmm. He's a captain, I believe, or a commander of some sort. And, she's super excited. So this isn't like an arranged marriage where she's upset about it. She's really going headstrong into it.
And both her parents are, like, good with it. Yes. Like, they like him.
Mm-hmm. So we kind of get a little bit of foreshadowing of something's quite not right when her stepdad kind of comes in to see her and walk her down the aisle. He's super excited, but she can tell that he's hiding something from her about these treaty negotiations that are happening within the Dragon Isles, because they control the dragons. They have a lot of resources.
They're like a trading post.
They're a trading post with a ton of resources. Like, they have, like, black diamonds, and they can talk to dragons and ride dragons, and it's like, something that's very coveted, and, they take pride in that, and the elves don't like that. I kind of got that Smog kind of, like, feeling, because how Smog kind of keeps all the gold and riches and stuff. So the elves are kind of like that, where, they like pretty things, and, they want to conquer everything. So they've been having to pay, what do you call it? A tithe? A teeth?
I want to say it's tithe, but...
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
they have to, in order for the elves not to come in and cause war, they make a payment to them. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of like, and not in so many words, there's something up between this treaty that they have.
Yeah.
But it's her wedding day, and he doesn't want to go into it with her. He wants everything to be like smooth sailing. So we get down to the altar. Her and Rowan say their vows, and in their country, they get branded with each other's crest on their wrist. Almost like, how you give rings to each other? Well, instead of rings, you get a crest.
Which I love. I thought it was so cute.
I have a love-hate relationship with that.
Why? Because it's branding?
Yeah, because it's, I don't know.
But it's not like she was getting his name or anything. It was just like I'm honoring you by putting your name or your house name.
Which is funny to me, because I always make fun of Angel. I was like, oh, would you ever get my name tattooed to you? And he's just like, no, never. I was like, I would get your initials. And here I am reading it, and I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with that anymore.
I don't know, the word branding.
I think that they use the word branding, but I love the idea of it because her crest is going to have a mixture of hers and his, which is really nice. So it's like that union. So they're about to go through with this, and there's like a loud, banging sound. And at first they're like, oh, it just must be a storm that's happening. Mm-hmm. And then it happens again, and it's not a storm. They're actually getting invaded and attacked. So this is where I feel like this book just started off with like a bang.
Yeah.
Because here she is about to get married, and then shit really hits the fan.
I know.
And she loses everyone.
Like one after the other. Like my emotions were my anxiety was
this book put me through an emotional roller coaster within I want to say like the first 4 chapters. Mm-hmm. Right? Wasn't it like the first 5 or so chapters?
Something like that, yeah.
It was in the beginning, and I was just like, wow, like you couldn't, like you started to fall in love with the characters with just how she was describing them and their relationships, and then all of a sudden she just ripped them out.
Because you could feel like her and Rowan's relationship and how much they actually love each other. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't even that many chapters in, and you were like, oh my God, I love them so much.
No, I loved her mother. I loved the relationship she had with her stepdad, and how she spoke about him, and how he treated her, and how, he treated her mom, and just like the respect aspect of everything. And then Rowan, just like, I was just like, what the fuck?
So her mom died first, right? And then it was her stepdad. And then we thought, everything was all good. They're gonna escape.
Because she's trying to escape with her sister,
Britta.
Who is the actual heir.
Yes.
Because like we said, Ren is just a stepdaughter. She doesn't have a legal right to be queen. Because there is an heir, and it's her sister, and her sister's really young, and her sister actually has, I feel like some form of like behavioral problems or something.
Yeah, she doesn't really talk, she gets like panic attacks around a lot of people.
So obviously this little girl, this is not the situation to be in when you have those kinds of like, triggers. Yes. So she's trying to get her sister out because she knows she's the heir, and she was like, I have to protect her. Not only because she's the heir, but this is my little sister, Yeah. And she just saw her mother and father die, so it's her, Rowan, her sister, and they're trying to escape through the tunnels. And she's about to get hit with a sword, and Rowan jumps in to protect
the true hero.
He comes in, he gets that blow that's, deadly, and he's telling her to go, and she's like, I can't, and he's just like, you have to.
Yeah. Too bad.
I know. Because I really, really liked him.
I know. I really wanted to see it, go further. But,
and I was thinking, okay, he's just injured. And she was like, no. Like, you can see his, like,
he's dead.
He's dead. So then she winds up escaping. And she brings her sister to Rowan's grandparents. Yes. And she's basically like, no one knows you guys are here. And no one knows that, her sister is still alive. Can you protect her? Because she's a warrior at heart. Her stepfather raised her to be around the dragons, to fight, like the men in his legions and stuff, which is very different from the elves. The elves don't see women as warriors. They're just pretty things you have, and not on the Dragon Isles. Like, women can fight and battle and all that. So she her warrior spirit is like, I'm gonna get on my even her freaking dragon, Aurora. Like, when we say she lost everything,
it's everything. Everything except Britta.
Yes, except her sister. So imagine that, like.
So yeah, she's like flying in the air and like fighting alongside all of her people. And of course someone comes along and shoots down her freaking dragon. Awful.
And eventually...
Who's the asshole? Damn Eric.
Eric, yes. God. I think that's how you pronounce pronounce.
But
Is it Arik or Eric?
I bet it's Arik.
I think it's Arik because she did mention, like, she didn't know what his name was. It was either Aaron or Eric. So she kind of like mixed it together. Yeah. So I think it's Arik. Okay, and this is a dual point of view book. Yes. It's Ren's point of view and Arik's point of view. Mm-hmm. And so he's the one who, he is like the bastard prince kind of thing. His dad, Soren, sent him to take over the Dragon Isles. And he does everything for his dad. They call him the Beast or something like that.
Yeah,
the Beast
he's
elf.
more like a right hand man, like the first guard or whatever. But he does all the dirty work. He does all the dirty work because one, he can never truly be prince. It's not like he's ever gonna have a chance at the throne, and which is pretty fucked up. If you think about what his dad did, like changing his birthday and shit. Yes, isn't that crazy? So with Eric, he's actually the firstborn son, even though he's the bastard son. He's the firstborn son. So technically, like usually in these kinds of times, the firstborn son gets rights or whatever, right. But because it's not with the queen, all of that. But he changed his son's birthday so that he's not even. Is he the second born? No, because I think he has two over him. Like, supposedly. Yeah, not really like two older brothers, but they're not really his older brothers. They're his two younger brothers. Yes. So Arik, he is the one who puts the hit to kill the dragon, take her down. But he's intrigued by her because Ren has fiery red hair, and that's all you can see. And he was just like, who is this person? And then he sees the dragon falls, and she falls into the water, and he was like, oh, it would have been nice to, figure out who she was. And then, long story short, she goes back to the castle. Her dragon's dead, but she's going back to the castle, I think just to get supplies or something. I forget why she even goes back. Why. I honestly don't. I don't remember why she goes back, but she winds up being in the hall where she was supposed to get married, and Arik is there, and she's like, this is my opportunity to sneak attack him. And so she does, and he winds up choking her out. Yep. But I think it was more he didn't, someone tried to attack him, so you're, fight or flight. Yeah, mm-hmm. I don't think he knew who she was at that moment, because afterwards he said something like, how did she get here so fast or whatever. So he attacks her, knocks her out. Mm-hmm. His second in command comes in. They check her, because they don't really know who the heir to the throne is. Yes. Because the Dragon Isles is very secretive about, heirs and just, who's in charge. And, that was something, they kept really hidden. So, obviously, there was a spy who told him, she would have, a marking on her hip from a shark bite or something. So he notices it, and he's like, this is the heir. But technically, she isn't. Right. So whoever their spy wasn't giving them accurate information. No, I think they kind of kept the younger sister hidden from a lot of people. Yeah. Because of how she was. Yeah, because of her behavior and stuff. And like you said, she didn't like being around a lot of people. Right, so they kept her quiet anyway. And so he's like, okay, we captured her. I'm bringing her back to my dad. Obviously, Ren finally wakes up. She doesn't want to. They knock her out again. They end up on a boat going to the Elven land. And this is where she meets Soren and his brothers. Mm-hmm. And they're treating her like crap, obviously. She's in the dungeon. She's dirty. She hasn't taken a shower since her wedding day. Yeah. This girl is filthy. I felt so bad. I know. They're putting her in this dungeon where the water rises and there's flesh-eating fish. They're like piranhas. That's what I thought when I was reading it. And then, obviously you always have to have that one jailmate that that either is crazy or a jokester, and she has the crazy jokester as a cellmate. He was almost like Rumpelstiltskin. Mm-hmm. Everything was in riddles.
Yes, always in riddles. Mm-hmm. But I think, as we know, that was like kind of a front.
Yeah.
So she's in these dungeons. They're mistreating her. And Soren decides to get her to be submissive, basically. She's going to marry her off to Arik. Mm-hmm. And Arik, who kind of has, like, this, like, connection. Like, he likes Ren for some reason. He's intrigued by her. He agrees to it. But he has his own agenda. He doesn't like his father. He doesn't like his brothers. Mm-hmm. And he actually wants to take over his father's kingdom and rule because he knows that they're corrupt. And that's what made me like Arik, because he's not like his brothers who are like always with like their concubines or just like mistreating people, you know.
Right.
He calls them lazy because he does all the dirty work and he has the scars to prove it.
And he was never really mean to her, other than like choking her.
But
when
again,
they first met.
It's like someone is attacking you. Yes. Like, you're gonna attack back. What are you supposed to do?
He did attack her. Yes, mm-hmm. He was protecting himself, but he was never really mean to her, like, once she was with him.
And he never lied to her.
No.
Like, no one in the kingdom knows that his birth was changed, like, the date of his birth. And that was, like, the very first thing he told her when they got married. He was just like, oh, you know, like, my dad changed my birthday. And, like, he was very transparent with her. And this poor man, this is his 4th marriage. And all his wives got killed. And he doesn't know why or who's killing his wives.
Do you think that his dad gave her to him, gave Ren to Arik, because he felt like he may have maybe taken over his kingdom or something? I just felt like his dad was like threatened by him.
Yes, I think so, because I think he's trying to get him away because he knows he's doing something within the kingdom. So as Soren may come off as like this I kind of envision him as this guy who loves pretty things and jewels and ruling through fear, and people kind of forget that he's actually very manipulative, and like, I don't think you can get away with a lot.
Yeah.
And I think Arik doesn't know that his father probably senses that he's probably trying to do something. And even his brother, who gave Ren the little dagger, forget what his name is, I don't know if he's on Arik's side or if he has his own agenda too. Because he told Ren about how all his wives died and gave her the knife.
So you think that he gave it to her to kind of protect herself and not to kill Arik?
I think it was probably to kill him in the hopes of that she would kill him. But I don't know.
It is tricky because they don't really explain that.
And we don't know, with all these assassinations on his wives, whatever came of him, because he was captured.
Yeah.
But we don't know what he said or told them.
Spoiler alert, there's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's a cliffhanger. So Arik and Ren kind of try to form a truce where he's like, hey, you know, if you don't lie to me, I won't lie to you. Let's try to help each other because I know you don't want to be here. And he kind of has his own agenda, but he doesn't really tell her what it is. And of course, Ren, she couldn't, like, she was like, yeah, I'll go with you or whatever. But of course, you know, Soren knows how to, you know, pick on her.
Yeah.
So she threw wine in his face and he sent her back to the dungeon. And Arik is like, wait, that's like my wife. Like, I can't just have her living in a dungeon. Right. What he didn't know was that Ren befriended, while she was in the dungeons, a fucking dragon that was there that I guess no one knew about.
Right. It would like slither in and then leave and then come back. Yeah.
And as she was raised on the Dragon Isles, I guess they communicate through song and like little like sound ticks or whatever.
Yeah.
So she was able to befriend this dragon, and while she was escaping with her jailmate, Arik comes in to kind of save her.
Yep, to get her out.
Get her out of the dragons, but she doesn't know he's there to save her. And she leaves him, and he's like, no, like, don't
bye.
leave. And she just leaves. And so he has, like, this huge manhunt on her. He's like, I'm gonna find you. And he's kind of intrigued by this challenge of her leaving. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know, it, like, sets him off or something. He's like, I like how she's spicy. Yeah. So he's like, I'm gonna go search for you. And we find out that her cellmate, his name is like Leaf?
Oh, Leaf. Yeah, Leaf.
Okay. His name is Leaf, and he's part of a like rebellion group. Yes. And he takes her to the rebellion group, and everyone's masked, and then the mask comes off, and she was like, I saw you die, and she thinks she's looking at her mom. Yeah. And it's her mom's twin sister.
When I tell you, my heart started, I was like, her mom is alive.
Right, because I was like, I didn't know if like the elves had power or something. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, was her mom able to heal and we didn't know?
That's literally the first thing I thought.
So then she was just like, no, I'm your mom's twin sister. And she has a letter that she wrote because she knew something was up. She knew like, you know, your stepdad and the treaty or whatever wasn't going well. And she
knew something was going to happen.
She had to have, like, a backup plan. So now she's with the rebellion, and she's escaping with them. And one of the people who's helping her escape, she noticed, is one of the guards she had with the elves. And he's actually a spy for the rebellion. So she's following him, and he takes her to the sewers with Leaf. And he's like, you know, follow him. You guys will escape. I have to go back to my post. And through the process of her escaping, Arik sees her. They kind of like lock eyes from a distance, which is kind of like, oh,
I know. I was like, oh my God.
And she looks back at him, and she knows he can see her, and he doesn't he like smirk or smile or something?
And that's the interesting thing, because when they were in the cell, even though he was like, I'm gonna find you, it was never like a threatening thing.
Yeah,
no. Like, it was almost like, I love you so much, I'm going to find you.
Like, I'm gonna, like, we're married, I take my oath seriously, I'm gonna protect you, and I'm gonna find you, and I'm gonna make sure you're okay. But he also has that, he said it's like she crawled under his skin. Yes. So I was just like, yes, she did. Yay. So obviously it's like a one-sided love.
Yep, big time.
So she escapes, and he calls his men to, like, he's like, oh, were you able to find her? And they're like, no, but we'll keep searching. So he calls in that spy, plot twist, who's actually Arik's man. Like, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, they like knew, they sort of kind of planned it all together. So Arik knew like he was okay with her
going
being with the rebellion because he knows about his right-hand man and the rebellion and everything. So he's kind of with them, but not really.
Right.
Like, he has his own little agenda, but he's siding with the rebellion.
So he was always planning on helping her escape.
Yes.
But he wanted to build that trust first. And he essentially was going to probably either have the rebellion help her escape or like tell her his plans, but she never gave him the opportunity to. So now he's scared. He's scared that when he's hunting for her, she's going to think it's like out of hate and, you know, revenge and all that, but really it's out of love and protection.
Yeah.
So he really is upset. Well, a little bit upset of the fact that he wasn't able to build that trust, but he's happy that she's gonna be safe. And he already knows who she's with. Like, it wasn't a secret. So,
which, like, now it makes me think when Ren and Leaf showed up at her aunt's, like, little place or whatever, didn't she say something like, we were going to go get you. I'm glad you made it here. Wasn't she going? So I wonder if he was already, like, planning with them.
I think so, because even in when Leaf showed up, they were like, oh, we're so happy you were able to help her escape. And he was like, I didn't. She helped me. So I think there was always a plan for them to connect in some kind of way. And probably Arik had, like, a really big hand in it. I just don't think they know it's Arik. I think they know that there's someone within the kingdom that's helping the spy and they're like, you know, communicating that way. But I don't know if anyone knows it's actually Auric, which I would hope no one would know, because then that's too many people who would know. Then that's how the king would know, kind of thing. So
clearly we have questions.
Yes, but it's not confusing.
Yeah. It's a cliffhanger question. Like, let's get the second book right now.
So my only questions is, what happened to the assassin? What is his brother's agenda? And even the queen's agenda? Because she's very flirtatious with Auric and makes him uncomfortable. Like, how can my stepmom be, like, flirtatious with me? But it gives me Rhysand and Freya, why am I saying?
Go ahead, you got it. You got it. You should see her face.
Rhysand and
Feyre.
Oh my god. Vibes where, you know how, like, when she would wear the dresses in night court and to make it seem like she's flirtatious, but really she's scared. You know, and she's using that as a coping mechanism. And, like, maybe she's trying to get Auric on her side. Like, yes, come into my bedroom, but really, I want to work with you.
Yeah. So I actually saved a quote from that, the queen.
Okay.
Which sort of solidified that she's actually good and not on the king's side. She's just kind of playing a part. And she's talking to Ren. And she says, there's no shame in wearing beautiful things. They are simply another version of armor. And she's just, like, being so nice to her and is trying to help her fit in and feel comfortable. And that kind of made it for me. I felt like from then on, I was like, okay, she's good.
But doesn't that give you kind of, like, from Crescent City, what did they call her? The assassin chick that everyone hated, but really she's really sweet in the end, but, like, she's
her friend. Her friend, you mean?
No, her brother's love interest.
Oh, yes. Oh, the Hind.
The Hind.
Yes.
She gives me the Hind vibes, but the opposite version. Like, she's sweet and nice, and she's using her beauty as her armor, you know?
Okay.
Where the Hound used her, like, strength and, like, all of that. So it gave me those kinds of vibes. But I loved this book. It was really good.
It was great.
Like,
I absolutely enjoyed it.
I have to read the second one. Is the second one out yet? I'm going to have to look it up because I really, really enjoyed it.
I agree. Same.
So, again, that was Court of Dragons, Dragon Isles Wars Book 1 by Frost K. And I loved it.
Awesome. I loved it too. It's a win.
Yes, definitely. Check it out.
Yeah. So that brings us to our next book, our last book of this episode. It's called Fire Heart by Emma Hamm. There are 3 books in this series. Only 2 are out right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really know. I knew it was a series, but I didn't realize.
Is it going to stay a trilogy, or do you think it's going to probably be more?
That I don't know. The 3rd book comes out in July, I believe.
Okay.
So it's an adult fantasy romance, so it's a little different. We did the YA, now we're doing adult, and it's a dragon-related book.
And not to cut you off, with it not having any, like, smut or spice, I was still really, into this book. And you know us, we like something with, like, a little bit more, but it kept me.
So, this book, Fireheart, there's no sex, nothing, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I'm so excited by it, which I'm newer to the smut world, but still, like, I've read quite a few that I liked, and this one had nothing. It had, like, the slow burn, but it didn't really have sex, and I absolutely adored it. I hope you like it. So I'm going to try not to spoil too much.
Okay.
I have a lot of notes.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to skip over some things because I really want you to read it because I think you would actually like it.
Okay. I'm definitely putting that for...
Good.
Look, I'm off this whole week for spring break, so yes.
Get it together.
Yes.
Let's go. All right. So this one is... it's a story about basically almost the same thing. It's like a rebellion versus the kingdom type thing. So magical creatures are fighting for equality while the nobles are fighting for power. Okay. So this is almost like a dystopian type feel. So it's post a war where a king kind of overpowered magical creatures and pretty much killed them off.
Okay.
So there's very little of certain magical creatures. And when I say magical creatures, it's like everything. There's pixies, there's dragons, there's dwarves, elves, all that good stuff. So the main character, Lore, she's half elf on her mom's side and half human. And it does mention her dad, but it doesn't really go too far into it. So that's kind of a question that I still have unanswered. Her mom is dead. She was killed by the dragon, the last dragon. So she pretty much wants to be left alone. She's almost in her 30s, which I thought was awesome. Nice. I know, like we always see like 19, 20-year-olds.
Yeah,
no,
definitely.
She's like almost in her 30s, and she lives in an attic. She sells weed.
Nice.
I know, they call it elf weed. So she literally smokes and sells weed and just lives her life. She doesn't want to like be a part of any type of war.
She's not bothering anyone.
Nope, she's not bothering humans, magical creatures. She doesn't really care. She just wants to live her life. Unfortunately, that's not the way things go.
Never does.
Nope, she gets roped into the rebellion. So they basically threaten her to join the rebellion because she's the only one that can infiltrate the kingdom. Because she's half elf, the knights won't be able to like sniff her out.
Okay.
To know that she's an actual magical creature. And I should mention that the king has these knights who are not human. They're made of smoke, but they have knight armor.
Okay. So, no. Because I was thinking Shadow and Bones. You know how, like, he was able to manipulate, like, shadows or something?
So it's almost like that, but they're literal, like, armies of knights. Okay. And these knight armors are filled with smoke. So they're just, like, beings. Okay. And they're not very, like, magical. They're easily killed, but there's so many of them that they overpower everyone else. Which I think is stupid because the king doesn't want magical creatures, but he's using magical creatures to like kill off all these other magical creatures. And these humans that live in this world don't even care. They like overlook that and follow whatever the king says. But anyway, she gets roped into this rebellion, and the way she gets in is that the king, Xander, is trying to find a bride. Because he's the last one. He's not married. He's a little bit of a man whore. But he has no children. So he's trying to make an heir. So they think she's pretty enough and that she'll fly under the radar. She's pretty enough and she'll fly under the radar. Well, that's like the big thing in this book. Xander only wants pretty people around him. And all he wants to do is have sex with all these pretty vaginas. Yes. And penises. Okay. Yes, because he does want his guard sometimes. Okay. Yes. So she finally agrees to do it, even though she really just doesn't want to, and moves on to like a different point of view. It's multiple point of views. It's hers and Abraxas. It's not Abraxos, like in whatchamacallit, Akatar. It's Abraxas. No,
Throne of Glass.
Throne of Glass, yes. So Abraxas is Xander, the king's like right-hand guard. Okay. But he's also a dragon. He's the last known dragon, so he can shift. Nice. I know. I was really excited about that. So
I want to turn into a dragon.
I know. That would be cool. So it's his point of view and Laura's point of view, the female main character. And he is bound into servitude of the kingdom because Xander's father trapped him by stealing the last 3 eggs in pretty much all of the universe. Right. So he hired, again, a magician.
Of course.
To, like, trap these eggs. And their line, their, like, lineage are the only ones that can open it. So now poor Abraxas has to serve the king so that he won't destroy the eggs he won't, like,
so blackmail them kind of thing.
Pretty much. So he's, like, this big, evil, bad dragon because Xander overpowers him and makes him kill things. And like I said earlier on, Lore's mom is dead via dragon. So the dragon burned her. So we now know that Abraxas actually killed her mom. Yes. I know. So plot twist. It's kind of well known because he's been the last dragon for a long time. Ages. Okay. Yes. So she finally gets into the whole competition. It's almost like competing, all these women to be his bride. Okay. Xander's bride. So there's multiple games. I'm trying to keep it like super minimal so I don't ruin a lot of it because there's a lot of good plot twists. So there's a lot of games that these brides have to compete in, and Lore obviously exceeds in a lot of these things because she's half elf. So she's a warrior. She knows how to fight. And a lot of these competitions are it's almost like Xander wants the women to feel less than him because he knows that they're not going to do well in these competitions. Right. But he has no idea that there's an elf in one of these brides. Right. So, long story short, she gets into the castle. She gets higher in the rank. So there's like these top three. There's her. There's this, of course, an evil mortal girl. Always. Obviously. And then there's this one. Heather. Heather. Oh my God. There's this other one, Beauty, who she befriends, and she's immortal. And they do spend a lot of time together. I'm trying to go through this and not spoil things for you because I really want you to read it. So, towards the end, the king starts to figure out that Abraxas, the dragon, and Lore have kind of created sort of a friendship. So when he meets her, it's almost like an instant attraction towards her. Like there's something that's pulling him towards her. And she is just like, I need to get this mission done and be out of here. Right. Like she doesn't want anything to do with anyone there. She doesn't want to continue on even doing this mission, but she has to. And there's just so many cute moments, I guess emotional moments that she has because she's kind of tucked away her elf side of her, and there's so many things that start to remind her of her mom. Aww. I know, like there's so many moments that I'm like, oh, like even when she starts to see like these pixies. So Xander, the king, keeps pixies in jars to light the castle. She's like, oh my God, nobody will ever hear you if you're screaming or need water or anything. Right. You're just going to die. So she like lets one free and she like befriends her. So like little things like that get her really emotional, that really tugged at my little heartstrings. And there's this one moment, I'm going to spoil this one moment for you because it's so good. I hated it and I was so mad. So Xander, being the conniving little cruel asshole that he is, goes into Abraxas' like cave. He's, on gold and gold coins and all that typical stuff. And he basically wants Abraxas to tell him he's like the greatest king there ever was. Abraxas is like, yeah, no, you're not. So relax. He takes one of the eggs. He does not. Yeah. He does not. I'll leave it at that. No! I'm not going to tell you what he does to the egg. No. But yes, we're down to 2 eggs now. Oh. Just because he wouldn't... Because he wouldn't. He literally would not tell him. Stroke his ego? Exactly. And that's exactly how it is. And that's what I really liked about Abraxas. He knew that he was bound to him and he had to serve him. But he still talked to him like he was just a little boy in a king's throne, acting like he was better than him when he really wasn't. And back in the day, the dragons had their own kingdom and they were very powerful. So it was never like, oh, I'm going to serve you and do whatever you want. He always held his own, but he always told him, you're just a mortal and I'm a dragon. You have to remember that. But he always had to like tread carefully because he owned these 3 eggs. 3 eggs. Yes. So anyway, I know. I wanted to scream. So again, there's like this big war at the end. I won't go into like specifics on that, but it leaves you on a cliffhanger. Okay. Big time. Okay. Yes. I think you'll really like it. There's slow burn. There's no mates, so it's not like, oh, this is a mated person or whatever. Right. They have to like actually fight for who they care about and who they want to be with kind of thing. So again, that's another like, this is a mature story. Like they're in their 30s, like late 20s.
I like that.
I really, really like that. I thought
because sometimes it's kind of awkward when it's like 18 and you're mated and you're married and you're fighting for this person, and then like 2 years later you have a baby, and it's like sometimes it's like too much. So it's nice to get a character that's actually older and even maybe a little bit more relatable than these teenage characters. Even though we love them, you know, our YA, but you know, having someone who is older, it's nice.
It was definitely nice to read, and it showed a lot of that in the beginning when she was competing at first, because people would look at her like, you aren't married yet, and she's there competing, and she made it known she didn't really want to marry the king, but nobody like just asked her, so then why are you here? Like nobody even cared. So yeah, there's a lot of magical creatures, rebellion, like I said. The emotions in the book was really, really good, which I adored. And
it's Fireheart
by Emma Hamm. Yeah. I like to look at reviews after I do like my own notes and my reviews and stuff. And a lot of people compared it to Throne of Glass, which I didn't think at all that it was comparable. The only thing that I felt like was sort of similar was how Aelin, she kind of just wanted to be on her own. She was an assassin. Like, she lived her own life. She wasn't just like, I'm a princess and I want to go do this. No, that's how this female character was. She just wanted to be on her own, live her life, and do what she wants. She was a warrior, but she didn't really get involved in anything. She just smoked a lot of weed and sold it.
If anything, it reminds me of Bryce.
Oh, yeah. I guess it's true, yeah.
That, like, whole, like, I don't want to be connected to any, like, rebellion or I just want to party and have a good time and live my life kind of feeling. I feel like that's more Bryce than anything.
I agree. Yeah, I see
that. But I'm definitely intrigued. And like I said, I got a couple days off, so add that to my list of books to read, because that's something I want to.
Yes, I already picked up the second one. I have it on my Kindle. I'm not going to start it yet. I'm going to have to
look up if Court of Dragons' second one is out, because like I said, it's that cliffhanger and like him wanting to search for her, and like it, even though it was like a slow burn and one-sided love, like I have to find out if the second one is coming out.
I agree.
But I'm so happy we did like this dragon series, because it's not something like I probably would have ever done. And I'm loving it.
I know. It's really exciting. It's different, I think.
It's very different. It's very different.
Yeah.
And even though it's like, why they had to kill her dragon?
I know, and it was right in the beginning too.
Yeah.
Like, everything happened so fast, and everyone was dead, and it was just her.
I think that's
really
what
sucked.
It just, and it kind of like made me envision it as like a show or a movie. Just how fast paced it is. You're thinking, oh, you're in for this long, like,
that's how they hook you.
Climax kind of book, and it was like, no, in your face, like the very first 4 chapters.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
So I'm super excited. So again, the first book we were talking about was Court of Dragons by Frost K, and the second one was
Fireheart by Emma Hamm.
And we loved both of them. I really liked it. So I can't wait to read Fireheart. That's something I'm definitely going to be picking up to read.
Awesome.
And that concludes our...
Wait, side note.
Oh, sorry.
No, because I was just looking it up. So Court of Dragons by Frost K, Book 2, Queen of Legends, doesn't come out till November 2022. Yeah, so we have to wait. But that gives you time to read Fireheart.
Yes.
And Book 2, and then Book 3 in July.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Right?
That's a great timeline.
You have plenty of time.
Definitely have plenty of time.
Yes, I'm excited.
Oh, I'm so excited.
All right.
Oh, I hate waiting for books. I love when, like, I get a series and like all of the books are out, and then I can just binge it.
Yeah, because you get excited. You're like, shit, they're all out. But no.
Now I gotta wait.
No.
That's fine. Yes. But yes, that concludes our 9th episode. It was all dragon related. So please leave us a comment on any dragon books you've read, like books with dragons in it. We really love these like fantasy kind of books. Something we're really interested in. And yeah, we're excited.
Yeah.
And our next week will be our 10th episode. I can't believe it.
We're in the big times now.
We're in the big leagues. But again, thank you to all the listeners. Please don't forget to comment, like us, follow us anywhere, listen to our podcast if this is your first one. There's 8 others that you can listen to.
You can listen anywhere, streaming anywhere you listen to music.
Yes.
Or all your other podcasts. And we're also available on YouTube.
Yes, definitely. So again, thank you for listening.
Bye.